All right, that was Mary J. Blige and Method Man. I have to tell you, I've been watching the impeachment part due, and I've been watching it with rapt attention. I can tell you, it looks all too familiar to me. Oftentimes, when you see a trial with this much uncontrovertible evidence, with this abundance of evidence, with this much damning evidence, usually when you see this much evidence, but yet among the punditry, there's little chance of a conviction, a cop is on trial for killing an unarmed black person. Because the weight of the evidence depends on who the crime was perpetrated against. The evidence matters more depending on who the crime was perpetrated against. Right now, the President of the United States is on trial for leading an insurrection. And that insurrection was led by the president to stop the steal. Who did he think was stealing? The people in Detroit, the people in Philadelphia, the people in Atlanta, black people. He's claiming that they rigged an election, that the election was rigged. And that's interesting to me because usually when something is nigger rigged, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that good. But apparently now it does. When is the last time you saw this much evidence, this much overwhelming, damning evidence, and still the people watching the trial doubt the conviction, doubt that there'll be one, doubt that anything will happen, doubt that you can change minds? Because it's easy to look the other way when the evidence points to something, an injustice being done to black people. Those people that he was trying to disenfranchise, those people that he was trying to threaten elected officials to take their votes away from, who were they? And where were they from? You don't even have to go, what about the pandemic? The people it was killing, the people who were dying from it. Why was it easy to look the other way? Because whatever you do to black and brown people, it just doesn't have the same impact. It just doesn't hit the same way. So right now, they can really look the other way because of the people who he sought to disenfranchise, the people he sought to steal the election from, the people that he thought to blight their record, the people that he tried to steal from were us. They were black and they were brown. And there were people who lived in Detroit, and there were people who lived in Philadelphia, and there were people who lived in Atlanta, and they were black and they were brown. And he tried to intimidate them because they're not real citizens anyway. Even listening to all this evidence, well, it's not real. He didn't really do this. Look at who he did it to. Can you imagine that crime being perpetrated against people that looked a different way or that were from another time and space? You can't. I mean, and the fact that he very well probably will be acquitted is no big deal. OJ got acquitted. Well, once, and then the other two times, in the civil trial and the criminal trial, he got convicted. The bottom line is this pretense for law and order, for backing the blue, for Blue Lives Matter, is only okay when it ain't us. When it's us, they don't care. Look at all the things the Republicans don't believe. They don't believe in the Parkland shooting. They don't believe that there was a pandemic. They don't believe that anything's wrong, but they do believe in QAnon. It's funny to watch people who rail on about law and order slapped in the face with so much evidence and still being willing to look away, still being able to cast a ballot the other way, cast a vote the other way, still being, well, of course, probably many of them are able to do that because they too should be under investigation. They too, if you look at at least two or three of those senators, they too should be indicted. They too should be at risk of losing their job. But isn't it funny how all these people who claim to be law and orders, all these people who claim to love law and respect the rule of law and respect the Constitution, how they look when the evidence, who it impacts, who it affects? Isn't it funny to watch a group of people who got more angry at Ice-T for rapping cop killer than they are the Trump supporters for actually killing cops? That's a little note from the GED section. We got a jazz report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.